Hello guys and welcome to another video. Today we have here again my Alfa Romeo 156 with the airbag light on. Today we are doing again the repair of that. Well, if you know the channel by now, you know that I did a full video for this, including even if you do not have any codes registered on the diagnosis machine, how can you do that? Well, today we have here a new Autel diagnosis tool that allows you to see all of the fault codes. But that's not all. I have the pins to replace, on the connector over there, okay? Funny thing is, I'm doing the video on the exact same spot that I did last time. It was, what, 3 years ago? A long time ago, or more, 3 or 4 years ago. And since then, the workshop has been growing and growing and growing and growing. So in a minute I will show you everything that I'm doing here on the workshop if you want to know. So the fault code shows us here that we have an excessive amount of resistance on the side airbag of the driver's seat. So this is the connector that I have to repair. On the other video you can see everything about that, and on this video let's just crimp in here the new connectors, okay? So I already did one just to make sure it was the correct pin and everything works with my crimping tool. So I have here 2 new more to go, okay? And you have here the part number. This is for Iveco, but it is the same, okay? And they'll do this bag was 10 bucks, so it will do for other cars too, or this car if necessary for the other seat or other areas of the car. Also here to erase the code, there is a special method to do so. On the other video I explained all of that. It is very, you have to go step by step in order to do that, okay? So be watchful for that. Down on the description you have the other video so you can see that, okay? So what I like to do is to cut a bit of the wire, quite a bit. So this area of the wire over here normally starts to be a little bit stiff or corroded or oxidized and also sometimes broken, and I want to cut a bit to avoid that area. At the same time I am at the same time my cat, I am solving 2 problems at once. So the terminal itself becomes loose with age and this piece of wire that may be damaged. So I like to do it one at a time so I do not lose myself on the connections over here. And I just take out the terminal like I showed you on the other video also. Let me see here if you can see better with this camera. It's a bit better than the other one. My cat is chasing a fly. So you have to push down on the pin. Sometimes you have to push down on this area and on this area once you pass it through. Now I have to do the same length that I did on the first one. Be careful not to take too much of the wire, because then you have not enough slack on the wires to pull the seat back and forward. Then the other wire I'll do it for the Portuguese version, okay? But just repeat the steps. Take out just a bit of the insulation. Also on the other video, it was 3 years ago, so I know you know that I'm Portuguese, right? But English is not really my best language. And I have a new gripping tool. This is a Forge one, very expensive. And I have here the terminal, the smallest one, the 0.5, that allows me to do the crimping. So on the other video, you may be a little bit frustrated because I have not yet had the correct vocabulary for everything. That does not mean that I have it right now, but I believe it is a bit better. So the terminal is over here. It is still free, and I like to, sorry, talking about another one thing and doing another one. So the terminal, you have to crimp it. Let me see if I can focus this a little bit better. Okay, you have to crimp this part over here and this one. So this part over here crimps on the copper, and this part over here crimps on the insulation. And the pliers themselves, you have an area for the crimping of, my fingers are too thick, for the crimping of the copper, and another area for the crimping of the insulation. So you put the terminal like so, or with the wire attached already, but normally that does not work because the wire is too thin. And I like to just hold it down like this. It's free, it moves about, and I want to insert my wire on a hole that I just created. To make sure I will crimp on the area, and I can see the copper over there just peeking out through the hole. Okay, and once I'm confident that is everything in place, just push it out a bit. Okay, just go for it. Okay, if you mess it up, you can always recrimp a new one. That's why I bought a bag, because this is a new pair of pliers and I still do not know just everything about the crimping capabilities of it, or also of the terminal itself. Okay, now you have just one way to insert the terminal. Here we go. Done. Very nice. I have here my SW, all dirty, with the solar plexus tints. Very nice. The code is still active if you want to purchase them. And I have a flat tire that I have to solve. I have here, well, I do have a video for that, how to repair a flat tire, how to repair a puncture. Then I have here a 159 that I have a problem with the turbo. Until 3000 RPM I have no turbo. It is not the sensor, it is not the solenoid, it is not the vacuum lines over here. I already saw that the movement of the geometry is not correct, so for that the turbo has to come out to see that. Probably a problem on the inside of the turbo, or I can guarantee now that it is that, but it will go to the specialist to see what is necessary to repair it. I have a video for how to remove that and how to insert everything again with new parts. Okay, it is down on the description. I also have here my 75. The engine is finally starting to look like something. Well, not yet. I have to vapor blast this, and I would like to do that. Well, not myself, but order that service. I already have the sleeves taken care of. I have the pistons. I now have to see if the crankshaft is good or not. See the con rods. I have here a part of an engine. I have a new toolbox for my employee. And okay, this is my 75 again. I have here two 159s with the same issue. I think this is important to know. Both of them were having a very bad crank. So that one and this one. And well, a very bad crank. Both of them have very bad injectors, and both of them have had overboost, like a lot of overboost. Very strange, both of them. They are the 1.9 multi-jet engine with a plastic intake manifold, both of them. And yes, both of them swallowed up the intake flaps, the swirl flaps. That one a little bit worse than this one. This one not so much, but it scratched the bores of the block. So this block over here will come out. That one over there will not, because the customer does not want to spend a lot of money. Okay, for that the cranking may still be a little bit or the oil consumption, because the block over here is a little bit worn out, like the 5-cylinder Rera that I have here on the channel. Okay, this is a V6 2-liter turbo. This is a engine that came to Portugal and Italy for the 166 and 164. This one, the crankshaft, well, the bearings, the support bearings of the crankshaft gave up, and I have it over here to be repaired. Okay, so these two 159s for that. This Fiat Fiorino Cubo is here for also head off, because it was overheating between cylinders 2 and 3. Still have here just a bit of a smudge over here, and I took advantage to put new piston rings and new bearings on the conrods and do a thorough cleanup. Also did a bit of hone on the cylinders. Okay, just a home version of it, with very careful, very slowly, with the correct angles and all of that. Okay, and this is my old toolbox just for me. My 233s. At this stage I have everything almost disassembled. Possibly today I will do another video for this car. Today is Sunday and I'm trying to give it a rest, but at the same time do some things. Okay, so over here I have the 33 with 29,000 kilometers, the one that I did the video on, and parts arrived. Parts did arrive. I have a fuel pump, I have timing, I have things for the brakes, the things that were missing on the other video. Okay, this car is for sale. Okay, the customer bought it to save it and to sell it to a worthy customer. This 156 is over here. This is the TI version from factory. Is over here for a, well, at the moment it is a crank no start. The ECUs keep on burning. I have over there a new used new to this car one to insert, and but for that firstly I have to check what is going on with the wiring. This is the 166 that I have for that engine, that the support bearings of the crankshaft blew up. This is the car. This is the one that I did some videos on for the suspension, for the window regulator, for the door lock, and some other stuff for the boot area over there. I have here some gearboxes. This is for this car exactly. This one over here, cannot recall, and these two ones are to do a video on. So I will disassemble them and do tutorials on them to repair. Okay, this is the one that I did videos. Well, I did yes, I did videos on this one for the rear suspension, the rear shock absorbers, lots of stuff. Unfortunately, someone did hit the car on the side over here and is here to be painted. Well, to be not myself, but I have a guy for that, and is here for that. Okay, you have there the Brera, which is at the moment abandoned. The customer did pay whatever was behind schedule, but now it needs more parts for finishing the job, like the turbo, the timing kit, other stuff. Okay, to get it running. And no, there is no time frame for that, so the car is at the moment officially abandoned. This car is also kind of abandoned over here. This is a diesel one. Very nice cars. These are very good cars. The car is running, just has some issues with suspension that is quite common and normal on these cars. The gear linkage is very loose, so it has to have that new also, or good used one. And the customer left the car here about 6 months ago, and just well, it's here, right? I have here a convertible to repair the soft top. It is already done, actually. I already did that. Normally now I have always everything that I need to repair them. So we have the gears, and we have the gas struts and whatnot. Sometimes the entire motor flap has to come off and to be replaced because the sensors also sometimes go bad. If you flip them around, sometimes it works because the sensor now reads on in another area and not worn out area, and it works. Not on this car, but another car that I have over there that happened. This one over here is here. It is almost ready for some oil leaks. I have videos for that as well, on the fill up neck of the engine oil and on the vacuum pump. I also did took out the oil sump to replace the famous oil sump seal, the original one, not the modification. Did a service on it, then some suspension noises. It was the droplings of the sway bar on the front, and that's it. This one was ready. This one over here has a very, very, very severe misfire. Well, not a misfire, but something very weird at idle, and it runs beautifully when you accelerate it. This is a 1.6 twin spark engine, the final version with electronic, the fly-by-wire throttle body. The problem is not the throttle body. It has compression, it has spark, it has fuel. It is not the fuel injectors, because also we have LPG, and it does the same when it is running on LPG. So it has to be with ECU probably. The ECU is with our guys on 2000 Linus to check that. This one is here for a window regulator here. It was here also for a wheel liner. Sorry, not a wheel liner, keep calling it that, for a roof liner on the inside. It was here also for the timing belt and some accessories what were making noise, like the vibration dampener on the crankshaft and whatnot. So it is ready to go. This one is ready. The customer is on vacation right now, and in a week or two it will go home. Before that, maybe doing a general cleaning. This one you already know. This one is also doing an engine repair, but the customer is not well at the moment in terms of health, so the work is paused by now, for now, okay? It is a 5-cylinder 10-valve engine. It is a very, very beautiful engine to hear and to work on. Is also very good. This one over here is here for an engine replacement, 8-valve JTD engine. How can you kill an 8-valve JTD engine? Turns out there is another way to kill it. I already have a video for this, not this car, but how to kill an 8-valve JTD engine or a 10-valve. And this was not it. There is another way to kill it. Turns out if you use a aftermarket high flow intake air filter and do not maintain it, dirt and grime and whatever will go to the cylinders and create havoc on the engine. So, and then go down to the oil sump, and the oil itself becomes grimy and it will eat out the entire engine. So be careful with air filters, guys. Okay, be careful. This one over here is he is here because of a P0090 and 91. So lack of pressure of diesel, and this is a 1.6 multi-jet engine. So what do? The high pressure fuel pump has to come out. It went to a specialist to be tested. Was tested, was a little bit bad. He tried to repair this same pump, but no go. So the pump was totally it had no way to be saved. It had to have a new high pressure fuel pump. It is already on, it is already solved, but now I have to remove the gearbox to replace the clutch set and probably also the flywheel, and also the brakes front and back, and a bearing on the right side over there, okay, on the wheel. For this I did on the Giulietta a video for this. I believe this is the same, so I'll not do a video for this, okay? And more, just 2 more to go. I have here a 156 that was to be scrapped. It was to be scrapped, 1.8 twin spark engine, but the customer did not have the heart to scrap it, and I believe it was a good decision to find an engine, a good used engine, to restore it. So the engine is already in, and it did already ran. The engine was from another customer of mine that did an upgrade, and now we have here this engine that we know it is good because it was running perfectly. So I just have here my battery charging, and I have an issue with the sensor, the RPM sensor. I know it should be new on assembly, but we tried to save on that. Now I have to replace it. And finally, we have here another convertible that again, problems with the rooftop, and already solved. Okay, one thing, guys, do not use ever 3D printed parts for gears on on the flap motors. Okay, does not work at all. Okay, see you next time, guys. Bye.